WWE has been putting on pay-per-views since the 1980s, and as a result, has amassed a library of these shows numbering in the hundreds. We're keeping this pure with a list of pay-per-views that have been branded either WWF or WWE, and trust us, even just narrowing the list down to that leaves us with a treasure trove of shows to sift through. 5. WrestleMania 19. WrestleMania 19 was headlined by 3 huge matches, each that basically showcased a different era in WWE history. First, you had a tribute to the 80s with Hulk Hogan taking on Vince McMahon in a street fight that even featured a Roddy Piper run-in just to put the cherry on top of the nostalgia sundae. Then you saw the third WrestleMania face-off between the 2 biggest stars of the 90s, Steve Austin and The Rock, with the Great One finally picking up a win over Stone Cold. Finally, you finished the night with the modern era, as Brock Lesnar defeated Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship. 4. Money in the Bank 2011. Some great pay-per-views end with a cliffhanger ending. Other great ones end with a happy ending, with Money in the Bank. 2011, you got both simultaneously. Weeks after CM Punk's famous pipe bomb promo, airing some real frustrations with his contract rumored to be coming due, people wondered how his world title main event with John Cena would play out. What we got was Punk's ultimate triumph, a win over Cena to become champ in a classic match. But we also got an ending that left us desperate for Raw, with Punk fleeing through the crowd with the title and waving goodbye to a panicked Vince McMahon. 3. Extreme Rules 2012. Extreme Rules 2012 heralded the return of Brock Lesnar to WWE after an 8-year absence. The wait was worth it when he took on John Cena in this pay-per-view main event, an Extreme Rules match that was one of the better WWE tussles of the era, and one that showed everybody that Brock had not lost a step. You can argue that Lesnar should have won in his first show back, but you can't argue that you didn't leave the show pumped for future Brock matches. 2. WrestleMania 30. There are a lot of parallels between Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10. Like Bret at Mania 10, Bryan bookended the pay-per-view, defeating Triple H in a great opener and ending the night triumphant in the main event, in this case defeating Randy Orton and Batista for the World Heavyweight title. Both pay-per-views were feel-good experiences, what felt like changing of the guards as much-loved fan favorites were given the glory of the top spot after years of fighting against naysayers. Many Bryan fans thought they'd never see the day he'd be pushed to the very top, and here he was, winning the main event of the biggest card of the year. 1. Evolution. To fully appreciate Evolution, you have to know WWE's history with women's wrestling. From getting shortchanged on time and positioning, to being used as nothing as titillation in demeaning gimmick matches, to the pushing of barely trained models, WWE had all too often given women the short end of the stick. With Evolution, a pay-per-view with nothing but women's matches, WWE's renewed effort to take women's wrestling more seriously had its greatest victory lap. Almost every match was at least good, showcasing a level of depth in the division that had been unheard of in previous decades. There were great moments throughout the card. The opener of Trish Stratus and Lita taking on Mickie James and Alicia Fox was a nice hat tip to previous generation.